Hello. In this presentation today, my group and I will be addressing management issues that JCPenney has been struggling with for many years, as well as solutions to two of their biggest issues with an appropriate plan to implement these solutions. JCPenney filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 2020, and in order to continue on a legacy of 119 years in the retail business, JCPenney needs a plan to reinvent the company's success. There are many management problems JCPenney faces, one being that their price strategy was confusing to customers to the point people did not understand if they were receiving the best deals, even though at JCPenney, having great goods for great prices is what they're known for. Along with that, the company was unable to deliver the basic fundamentals of successful retail, such as constantly improving their products and clearing out old and out-of-date inventory. In addition, JCPenney had their attention set on the wrong group of people. Instead of their customers being their top priority, they invested in their shareholders, which ultimately was a recipe for disaster. Two of the company's investors ended up buying a large amount of stocks, expecting JCPenney's stock price would increase. And in the end, that is not the way that it played out, which left the company in a very difficult position. Not to mention, the previous CEO of JCPenney, Marvin Ellison, completely switched JCPenney's brand focus from fashion and retail to appliances due to his experience in the appliance industry. This ultimately made JCPenney lose their relevance from their past target audience, and the company was never able to regain their relevance to consumers. Additionally, JCPenney is competing with three large corporations, Walmart, Kohl's, and Macy's, whom all do extremely well in revenue, profit, and customer service. These companies have only been going uphill, while JCPenney is just struggling to stay alive. Even S&P Global downgraded their ranking from a B to a B-, which has caused their competitive advantage to significantly decrease. One of the main issues that we will be focusing more on throughout the rest of this presentation is JCPenney failing to recognize who their core customers were and what those customers wanted to see from JCPenney. In an article I read, it states that the typical penny customer is highly price sensitive, loves the affordable yet stylish fashion, and the constant promotions and sales going on. However, when Ellison shifted Penny's focus from fashion to appliances, he lost JCPenney's most valuable customers, which led these shoppers to JCPenney's biggest competitors. Once Ellison made this shift, the corporation was never able to attract a new audience of customers that would be the core group JCPenney desperately needed. The second issue we will be primarily focusing on is JCPenney's lack of digital strategies as technology began to quickly advance. Their online commerce first started in 1994, and they then saw their first decline in sales in 2011 when Ron Johnson took over as CEO, and he minimized the importance of online shopping. Not only did he minimize the importance of online shopping, but he took the earnings from those online businesses and invested it in more of JCPenney's physical store locations, instead of investing that money back into the online industry. And as we see today, most of America would prefer to online shop, and the decision that Johnson made ended up being a detrimental decision to the company. In the end, this made their sales website outdated and unappealing, which caused a lack of trust between the customers of JCPenney and JCPenney itself. Their sales continued to slow until they became completely still, while JCPenney's competitors were flourishing at this opportunity. Since then, JCPenney has struggled to get back to where they once were, which left them no choice but to shut down many stores due to their profit loss.
JCPenney's has struggled in the past from mistakes that have led them in a downward spiral. One solution that they should have taken into consideration to combat their strategy of gaining loyal customers after the demise of Sears is focusing on the customers that matter most to JCPenney's. If JCPenney's would have put their spotlight back on their main customer base and maintained what they do best, the company could have saved a large customer base, rather than being overly ambitious by trying to train their employees on a whole new demographic. Consumers do not adapt well to change. In class, we talked about how having too much change within an organization can be a bad thing. Proficient use of available resources is crucial to the company's organizational and managerial success. Recognizing your loyal customers should have been top priority of the already struggling company. JCPenney should have continued to train their employees on what they do best, which is selling retailed items at reasonably low prices to meet consumer needs. Another solution that JCPenney's might also want to think about is offering in-store surveys so they can receive necessary feedback. By doing this effectively, JCPenney's could have given their customers a voice. This strategy would have allowed JCPenney's to gain access to first-hand problems the company is dealing with. JCPenney's has struggled in the past to implement this simple technique into the company. JCPenney's customers were unable to have a voice. By establishing a valid source of communication between customers and setting a reasonable pricing strategy, JCPenney's could have eliminated many of their problems. In order for JCPenney's to move in the right direction, they will need to revert their employees' training back to what they do best and create a necessary form of communication between customers and the company. The solution for JCPenney's failing e-commerce program is a total rework of the online site. By doing this, JCPenney's can eliminate their outdated discounting models offered online that have oppressed customers in the past. By reinventing their site to meet today's online standards and offering the popular items that are available both in-store and online as well, the customers will be able to have a more satisfying engagement. If you want to compete with today's standards, you need to optimize your site for mobile. It may be necessary to redesign. As many people nationwide know, online shopping and retail is at an all-time high, with more consumers wanting to purchase products from the comfort of their homes. Being able to adapt to this new concept will offer more of the company.
In the next section, we'll be talking about the steps the CEO of JCPenney will need to take in order to continue to be successful. The CEO, Jill Salto, said in an article with The Insider that the store's confusing pricing strategy and failing to deliver on some of the core fundamentals of good retail led to JCPenney's downfall. One of the biggest issues with JCPenney is that the company did not find the right customer base in the market. By not figuring this out sooner, JCPenney wasted precious time and effort that affected the business and the managerial success with the company. There are two major problems with the company that they have faced: failure to attract new customers and disregarding the online audience. With such discounted prices on products, the company focuses on pleasing a specific customer market. Even though the company still does have a loyal customer base, recently certain customers have been bored or frustrated with the selection of products in the store that they come to. First, the top executives and the first line managers would have to come together and produce the right questions to ask customers on how they feel about the store's appearance and the product selection. After deciding what questions to ask, the company should give out the strategy to the least successful store around the country. After deciding what questions to ask, the company should give out the survey to the least successful store around the country. By starting off with a store that has been struggling, it will give the executives a read on how this survey can improve the company's situation. It would also give the top executives the insight they need to improve the store's success and give a baseline to what the company needs to do going forward. Next, Penny would need to focus on managing the amount of inventory and merchandise that comes through the company. Many other companies have done rebranding and improved the image of the company by changing the logo or changing the inside layout of the store. By improving the company's marketing strategy, JCPenney can attract more than just the middle-class moms they always do every year. The customer base that they need to increase profits and compete with other large companies like Macy's, Walmart, or Kohl's. In an article with Forbes, a previously loyal JCPenney customer told the Washington Post that the clothing company was seeming to chase younger shoppers with glitz and ripped jeans. Wow. For the rest of us, it was like, hey, here's a shapeless green bag you can wear. Another customer added, there's nothing in the middle of the road anymore. Another also added, a wasteland of clothing, either frumpy or see-through and sleazy. By listening to the customers, JCPenney could figure out the target audience that best suits the company going forward. In 2011, Ron Johnson was named the CEO of JCPenney. With prior experience at Target and Apple, JCPenney was hopeful that he was going to be the person to turn the company around. One big problem he made while he was in charge was focused more on the in-store experience rather than the online experience. As a result of this, the company's online sales dropped 32% the same year he was named CEO. The first thing that the company should do to increase the e-commerce side of the store is to push more online orders rather than customers physically coming into the store. Then the company would offer products online that can only be bought online rather than having the option of coming into the store to buy the products also. For example, JCPenney saw nearly 26 million views for just the month of April and around 65 million views during the holidays. One of the company's biggest competitors in the business, Macy's, saw 57 million in the month of April and around 165.5 million during the holidays.
The next section we'll be talking about is the evaluation section. When it comes to JCPenney's customers, they needed to come first. If JCPenney would have focused on their core customers' wants and needs, they would still be a successful business. According to Morgan Ranger, customer satisfaction is a key factor in retaining customers and building their loyalty. Customers come to the company with certain expectations regarding the quality of the product or service, price, and level of service. Its success, financial, and overall growth depend on the well-being the company manages to meet the expectations of its customers. If JCPenney would have given out customer surveys, it would have been very beneficial for them to receive meaningful feedback from their valued customers. Amazon is one of the companies that has been very successful with online surveying. Amazon has also been one of the big competitors with JCPenney's online sales. The only way to evaluate JCPenney's success would be with the numbers of sales after the survey. In 2011, JCPenney's CEO tried to refresh the brand and make JCPenney's a nicer destination instead of a bargain barn. JCPenney failed to provide a customer survey for both its in-person and online customers, leaving them with a drop in online sales by 32%. The drop in online sales of JCPenney could have been avoided if the company would have given out customers surveys to the customers. This would have given the company a better idea of where they failed on the online website. The other solution was having a better online website. This also goes hand in hand with the survey in certain areas. Companies like Walmart, Amazon, Kroger, and Meijer all have very good online websites with great customer service. Walmart, Meijer, and Kroger all three have online pickup and delivery options for its customers. If JCPenney wanted to successfully organize their online website, they would have followed in the steps of the other major stores. In order for JCPenney to stay afloat in this generation, they would have needed to compete and not get ran over by the other companies. The company would have had a major success if it would update the website and keep up with its customers. Amazon's success has come from its ability to continuously innovate and create their own business model instead of following the others.
This graph describes the annual net sales that JCPenney's has gone through from the year 2004 up until 2018. This graph displays how the non-program decision made by Ron Johnson in the past has impacted their annual net sales up until recent years. The company earnings over time have decreased since 2011. This shows a significant drop in sales and has continued to affect the company in recent years.
For the SWOT analysis, the strength that JCPenney has in the company would be the discounted prices that they offer to customers, the quality of the clothing that the company sells, the number of loyal customers that keep coming back every year, and the company offers top brands like Sephora, Nike, Levi's, Adidas, Puma, and other relevant suppliers. The weaknesses that the company has is the ineffective pricing strategies, lack of communication with the customers and the top organization executives, and the inability to keep up with the competitors like Amazon and Target or Walmart. The opportunities are expanding their own online base, reaching out to a new demographic, relocating to a new area where few competitors are present, and expanding the company's outsourcing. The threats are major competitors like Amazon for online sales, the amount of CEOs that they had in the span of 5 years, which has created issues with trust among the top executives, and the coronavirus pandemic brought issues to the company that they didn't expect, along with financial burden that